Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ending Explained, and today we are talking about the over-the-top animatronic Chuck E. Cheese vs. Nicolas Cage movie, Willy's Wonderland. If you're new to the channel, be sure to give the video a thumbs up or subscribe and get videos just like this. And if you've never seen Willy's Wonderland and you don't want to be spoiled by it, we do have a spoiler-free movie review right here. You can go check that out. And without any further ado, spoilers ahead, let's talk about Willy's Wonderland. Willy's was built in 1996 by Jerry Robert Willis, a well-known serial killer, and Jerry over time staffed his restaurant with other serial killers and would kill entire families in the secret room in the back called the Super Happy Fun Room. After enough families went missing, police went after Jerry and his crew, but instead of surrendering, they all committed a satanic suicide ritual that transferred their consciousness into the animatronics at Willy's Wonderland. You know, a concept very similar to Chucky in Child's Play. 10 years later, Willy's Wonderland reopened by its new owner, Tex Mikado, but of course everything goes sideways when the animatronics start low-key killing families again, causing Willy's to close their doors once again. I feel like I'm doing an episode of Company Man. You ever see that channel? It's pretty legit. Anyway, after Willy's was shut down and condemned, Tex hired a construction crew to actually bulldoze Willy's, but the day before that it was scheduled to be knocked down, the contractor, along with his family, was killed gruesomely by Jerry and his crew. After that, the creepy critters started sneaking out to kill people in town, eventually got so bad that the sheriff went down to Willy's to make a deal with the serial killers, saying that they would offer human sacrifices of random people that were either passing through or that they felt were very low in moral standing. Which begs the question, what makes the janitor so special that he's able to fend off these supernatural animatronics where so many other human sacrifices have failed? Does it have to do with the energy drinks that he must constantly consume? Or maybe it has to do with the pinball machines. Maybe playing enough games and getting a high enough score gives you the power to take on the machines. For a large part of the film, I wondered maybe the janitor is not even human, that maybe much like Jerry and his crew, that he was a supernatural being himself. However, this theory falls flat when you consider that the robots bleed this black oil, and the janitor seems to have human blood that is red. I also wondered if maybe that the janitor was some type of fallen angel. You know, there's a lot of talk in this movie about deals being made with the devil, and typically when you think of a storyline that has like a supernatural element to it, when you're a villain, there's typically a counter side to that, a yin to the yang. So I thought maybe we were going to get like a flashback to Nicolas Cage's character where he was maybe a fallen angel or something like that, but we never do get that flashback. We never do learn more about the janitor, which honestly I kind of like it that way. It's more mysterious. It kind of adds a little bit more intrigue to his character. In a fantastic episode of Jaren Talks Movies, Jaren interviewed the writer of the film, GO Parsons, in which he said he always wanted to make a horror movie where the bad guys picked an absolute worst person to mess with, that everybody has that wish inside them, that they all want to be the person that fights back against the bully, and that Nicolas Cage is a character in which we can, you know, feel that through, but which I guess answers the question on whether or not he's supernatural. You know, apparently he's not. Apparently he's so badass that he can outbully the bullies at Willy's Wonderland who happen to be animatronic robots. I mean, okay, I can go with that. I do want to know more about the energy drinks though. If you pause it, you can see that it says punch with a picture of a fist. Mind you, it doesn't say fruit punch, it just says punch. A fistful of caffeine to your kisser. Which, yeah, that sounds cool, but does that give him the capability to fight these supernatural beings? I don't know. The whole time I'm like, is he a robot? Is he some type of alien? There's something very amiss about him that makes him an enigma. His main character, the janitor, was written to have no dialogue. All he would do was clean house and do battle with possessed animatronic robots in a children's indoor theme park. That trope hadn't been done to death, says Parsons. Zombies, haunted houses, vampires, those we've seen too much. He also owns up to a personal love of breaking robots. Gio also said that he was inspired by films of the 80s and 90s such as Jack Frost, a horror slasher about a killer snowman that comes to life. When it came to casting Nick Cage, it was completely unintentional. Gio had initially made a short version with himself and had intended to make it into a feature also starring himself to keep the budget low. However, when talking to his casting agent, it became a story of he knew a guy, and one of those guys was, well, Nick Cage, who loved the script and signed on immediately. When asked what attracted him to the role, Cage said that, "I thought it was original and absurd, and I like things that are absurd. I found it hilarious and potentially terrifying. I don't get opportunities to act with giant stuffed ostriches or alligators or turtles or weasels, so I thought that would be a lot of fun. He also said the best characters are the ones that raise more questions than answers. They last longer. I want the film to remain enigmatic and I don't want to throw its secrets away. For the role of the janitor, Cage said that he took inspiration from other silent protagonists such as Harpo Marx, Buster Keaton, Charlie Bronson, and some of the early Terminator movies. But who is a janitor, we ask? Speeding in a sports car behind his shades, dog tags hanging from the rearview mirror? The clues tend to be very few and far between. When asked, Cage said that, "That's where the mystery is. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you. There might be some mental illness there, something that happened to him in the past. Whether it was on the field or in a bad relationship with his father, you're going to have to figure it out. I don't want it explained away. Once you name something, you're no longer Bigfoot. You're no longer the Loch Ness Monster. I want to keep it in that realm of cryptozoology." Nicolas Cage is fucking nuts. Anyway, he finished by saying that the rarity of the opportunity wasn't lost on him. I would love to have been in one of the Jim Henson movies, anything from The Dark Crystal to Labyrinth, any of the Miss Piggy Kermit movies. That didn't happen, sadly, but this is as close as I've gotten to that, and I enjoyed it. Which, yeah, I totally agree with. If you look at any of the modern day CGI movies, they look fucking awful. I did a side-by-side video not too long ago with the 1990s movie Witches and the new one that just came out not too long ago. It looks really bad. Any opportunity to have practical effects, and there's some good movies out there, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, Psycho Gorman, they all use practical effects, and they look fantastic. This movie, no exception. My theory was going to be that maybe he's a fallen angel, but thinking about it a little bit more, I think he does just have some type of compulsive disorder. Every time his watch goes off, he has to stop what he's doing. He stops fighting, he hands the knife to the girl, he goes in the other room, gets a punch, plays a pinball game, and then comes back. That seems like a trait of a compulsive disorder. I don't know. That's just my theory. The fact that he said that, he might have some PTSD, he might have some demons going up in his head, but with all the facts that are given to us from the production notes and the press notes, I don't think he's anything more than a badass who's just a little bit different. Yeah. As far as the future of Willy's Wonderland, I really wouldn't mind seeing a follow-up. If you watch it frame by frame, when the car blows up in the end, it actually doesn't set fire to the building, which is odd because it was covered in gasoline by 5 kids, but they could use that and keep going with it. They could, maybe go to a different chain of Willy's Wonderland. I imagine that it's a chain with many throughout the country, so they could do that. And who's to say that just because they killed all the robots, that the souls of those serial killers wouldn't be moved to another inanimate object, such as more robots. I could definitely see that being a thing if this movie is a hit. Anyway, guys, what do you think of Willy's Wonderland? Do you think Nicolas Cage, the janitor, is some type of supernatural being? Comment down below. Do you want to see a franchise? Do you want to see a sequel? Do you want to see the continuing adventures of Nicolas Cage and the girl that drive off into the sunset? Be sure to comment down below. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been John, you've been Burned, and we will see you next time.